So you're probably better off if you have some sort of higher education or a university degree, because that will make you stand out. That government life, that sort of old town charm. Hi everybody, I'm Boma. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about the cheapest cities to live in Canada. If you're living in Canada and wanting to move to a new city, or maybe you're moving here as an immigrant and you're not too sure where to live, keep watching this video. The first thing I want to share with you is the fact that you should do your research. Keep in mind that affordability is not always the most important factor. Your quality of life also matters a lot. As you know, Canada can get quite cold, so some of the cities I will be mentioning are cities that are quite chilly. And if you're a person who does not want to live in a cold place, you may not want to live in some of the cities I'm gonna mention. And this is one of the reasons why British Columbia is a really popular destination, because many parts of British Columbia have excellent weather, and unfortunately with that excellent weather comes a really high cost of living as well. Something else to keep in mind is that in some large cities, although the cost of living is quite high, there are lots of opportunities for advancement. So for instance, in Vancouver and Toronto, the cost of living can be quite high. You could start at a certain place and your salary could dramatically increase, because these cities are massive and there are lots of job opportunities and opportunities for growth. So having said that, let's get the list started. First city on the list is London, Ontario. London, Ontario has wonderful outdoor opportunities. There's lots of parks, there's lots of music, there's wonderful job opportunities, and most of all, the cost of living is incredibly cheap. The downside of London, Ontario is that you will need to have a car for convenience. London, Ontario does not have the best public transit system, so having a car may be your best friend, especially when you also consider how cold it can get in the winter. The second city on the list is Yellowknife. Yellowknife has an incredibly high median income. Sure, the cost of living may not be the cheapest on the list, but there are many aspects to living in Yellowknife, such as really cheap rent, really good wages. There's also a skilled labor shortage, so there are lots of job opportunities there right now. Of course, because it's Yellowknife, there's wonderful outdoor opportunities as well. The downside, like I mentioned, it is Yellowknife, it is quite remote, and it does get very cold. Next is Moncton, New Brunswick. Moncton is the 5th fastest growing city in Canada, and that is for good reason. The cost of living is very affordable. An average price of a home is less than $200,000. There is a very low employment rate, and it is very beautiful. You may also want to consider living in Kingston, Ontario. Kingston, Ontario has lots of colleges, universities, and government jobs. There's also a growing tech sector. The downside is that there are prisons and all the baggage that comes with that, but that is definitely a city that has a really affordable cost of living and is worth exploring. Next on the list is Calgary. That's a city you've probably heard of. Calgary has a wonderful outdoors culture. It's beautiful, it's affordable, there's a growing tech industry, there's good music, there's lots of opportunities, especially for tradespeople. So although Alberta is struggling right now, unfortunately, Calgary does deserve a mention, because it is a great city to live and it is quite affordable. Speaking of Alberta, another city you may want to consider is Grande Prairie. Grande Prairie has some of the youngest entrepreneurs in Canada. It has a young, diverse, and active population as well. When you live there, you also get the Northern Living Allowance, so that's something you may want to consider. You could get up to like $1,000 back every year. It's a beautiful city. I think it's quite underrated. Another city you've probably heard about is Montreal. It is diverse, the culture is fascinating, there's lots of things to do. The cost of living is really affordable as well. With Montreal, you do not actually need to know how to speak French to be able to work there. Of course, speaking French is an asset, especially if you're going to be interacting with the public, but Montreal is a wonderful city to consider. The next city I'll talk about is Ottawa. Ottawa, of course, is Canada's capital. It's a really beautiful place and be quite affordable, especially if you're looking into Gatineau and places like that. The thing with Ottawa is that 50% of people work for the government. That's not a surprise. So you're probably better off if you have some sort of higher education, university degree, or if you speak French as well. That will definitely give you a competitive advantage in Ottawa. Ottawa has a really booming tech scene as well. It's a really beautiful city with lots of things to do. So check out Ottawa. I have to say that of all the cities I've mentioned, I would say Montreal is my favorite. I went to Montreal about 4 years ago. I completely loved it. I don't speak French and I had a really wonderful time there. The next city on the list for me would probably be Ottawa. Ottawa reminds me a lot of Victoria in many ways. I unfortunately have not been to Calgary New Brunswick, or even Grand Prairie, so I can't say much about it. Yellowknife is on my bucket list. I would love to go there at some point because I really want to see more of that part of Canada. These are the cities that I recommend. If you have any suggestions for cities that people should check out that are affordable and fast growing, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you want more information about entrepreneurship and finance, I have a playlist filled with videos on that topic. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later.